Comoros Islands, a remote holiday playground in the Indian Ocean. Days here are spent playing in the sand and splashing in the gentle waves. But in late 1996, the peace of the Comoros Islands is shattered. A plane is speeding towards the beach. It's a passenger jet hundreds of miles off course. There has been no explosion, no mechanical failure, yet the jet is falling out of the sky towards the ocean. Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961 is on a routine trip from Addis Ababa to the Ivory Coast. The captain is Leoul Abate. At 42, he's an extremely experienced pilot.
7,300 kilograms. Center tank is 0.
He has more than 11,000 hours of flying time to his credit.
Total fuel is 14,500 kilograms. Check.
Ethiopian Flight 961 will stop briefly in Nairobi, Brazzaville and Lagos before it reaches its final destination of Abidjan. The plane has just enough fuel for the first leg of the trip. It will get more in Nairobi. Less fuel on board makes the plane lighter, increasing efficiency.
Switches are off.
Captain Abate and his co-pilot Jonas Makuria expect their day's work will be over in about 12 hours when they land in the Ivory Coast.
All clear.
That day was a bright day, clear skies. Everything was fine.
The passengers on board 961 are a mix of Ethiopians and travelers from other countries flying for business and pleasure. Michael Adenyo, seated in economy class, is a Kenyan businessman on his way home to Nairobi.
I spent the whole of Friday trying to get on that flight, calling the airline every hour or so. I remember Friday night, about 11 o'clock, I called them again and they said, look, just come to the airport, we'll see if we can find a seat for you. So I sometimes feel I put myself on that aircraft.
Near the front of the plane, American Frank Pancho Huddle is also getting settled in. He's the United States Consul General in Bombay.
My wife, Palm, and myself decided to take a trip to Africa and go on safari. I wanted a daytime flight because it was safer. So I picked Ethiopian Airlines, which had a good reputation. It was one of the 2 carriers in all of Africa that was FAA certified.
A few rows ahead of them is Mo Amin, a legendary news cameraman and journalist. He's a well-known personality, especially in Ethiopia. In 1984, Amin captured images which shocked the world. His pictures of the Ethiopian famine prompted an outpouring of aid, which helped pull Ethiopia back from the brink of starvation.
Mo Amin was, I think, the most famous news cameraman of his time, and also one of the strangest of characters.
Amin is known for never backing down in a fight. He has stuck his nose and his camera into conflicts across Africa. While filming in Ethiopia, he had even lost an arm in a bomb blast. Today, he's returning home to Nairobi after a brief business trip. By the time all the passengers are on board, Flight 961 is carrying 175 people. Not only is Captain Abate used to this route, but he's also very comfortable with this aircraft.
B1.
He and other members of Ethiopian Airlines call it Zulu. As the plane climbs into the sky, 3 Ethiopian men have settled into their seats. All are in their mid-20s. The plane is bound for Nairobi, but it's not where these passengers are planning to go. The plane is flying at 12,000 meters when the three young Ethiopians make their move.
When I heard a noise at the back, somebody shouting, and when I looked back, he was running up towards the front, pushing the air hostesses away.
There were two guys zipping down the plane, yelling something incomprehensible. Then a guy sort of gliding down silently came right after him, and I said, uh-oh, it's a hijacking, because they're coordinated.
Initially, we sort of just looked at each other and wondered what was going on. People didn't say much immediately.
There was some kind of noise in the cabin, and I heard the cockpit door slamming open, just bang.
Three men barge through the door and arm themselves with the cockpit's fire axe and fire extinguisher.
Get out! Get out!
There was, a little confusion up in the front as if they were, attacking the pilots.
There were three guys, they were shouting. They came straight to the co-pilot and they started hitting him. Get up!
There's 11 of us. If you don't do what we say, we'll blow this plane out of the sky.
I told them, okay, don't hurt him. I'll do whatever you want.
Passengers near the front of the plane are concerned, but have no idea what's going on. Captain Leul Abate is facing the hijackers alone. Unlike most pilots, though, Abate has some experience in a situation like this. He has been hijacked twice before.
The first hijack was a local flight, and then two hijackers who had a hand grenade came into the cockpit, and they forced her to fly to Nairobi.
Abate's second hijacking was just a few years later when he was piloting a 737.
The hijackers again held the hostess hostage, and they came into the cockpit. They told me it was hijacked, and they went to fly to Sweden.
No one had been hurt or killed in either of those incidents. In both cases, Captain Abate had landed safely. But the turbulent political situation in the region means hijacking is an unpleasant reality. From 1990 to 1996, 10 Ethiopian Airlines planes had been hijacked. This time, though, the hijackers make a very unusual request.
Fly to Australia.
What?
Fly us to Australia.
We don't have enough fuel to get to Australia. It's too far. We can go to Nairobi, or Zanzibar, or Dar es Salaam, and then refuel, and then go to Australia.
In fact, the jet took off with just 3.5 hours worth of fuel. But the hijackers don't know that. They've been reading the in-flight magazine, which tells them the maximum flying time of a 767.
11 hours. It won't take more than 10 hours to get to Australia.
We don't have 10 hours of fuel.
It says 11 hours.
We don't carry that much fuel. We only carry what we need.
They thought I was bluffing. They were convinced that the airplane was able to fly to Australia.
Abate is shocked. No one else on the plane knows what the hijackers are demanding. If he does what they say, his plane will crash in the ocean. If he doesn't, they say they'll blow it out of the sky. On board and keep working as best they can.
We started to ask the stewards what was going on, and they indicated that there was a hijacking.
Nervous and uncertain, passengers wait to see what happens next.
It was as if nobody wanted to sort of rile the hijackers, because they hadn't slapped people around. It wasn't a sort of a Middle Eastern style where they shoot somebody in the head to make a point, or they were basically leaving the passengers alone, provided that we didn't do anything. And that was enough for us.
So much fuel we have. If we had fuel for 11 hours, it would say 60,000 kilograms. But we don't carry that much fuel. We only carry what we need.
The hijackers seem to think that Abate is bluffing.
We have a bomb.